Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
I'm Charles Lewis, your Internet Marketing Specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast. This is podcast number 249.
Yes.
As always, our last podcast was 248, and there is a tip from that last podcast. And that tip is, if you are a do-it-yourself internet marketer, schedule time to review analytics and make website adjustments.
Look, man, all you DIYs out there, including myself. I
First off, props, punch in the face.
Yeah, because there's definitely a monumental task. But analytics are going to be your best friend. Like, it's extremely important to know where your traffic is coming from, what they're doing while they're on your site, why did they convert, why didn't they convert, which page they bounced on, which page they landed on, all that's which keywords they use to find you. And analytics helps you gather all that information.
Right.
But the key is not just knowing that information, but understanding what to do with it.
Right.
For example, if people bouncing off a certain page and they're not converting, but yet that page is getting a lot of traffic, maybe it ranks well, but the content's not presented right. Analytics let you know to go in and make those adjustments,
Right.
so you can take more advantage of the traffic you get. And so as a DIYer, you have to schedule that time with the tip.
Yep.
So set some time aside, whether it's Sunday night, whether it's Friday morning, maybe it's Monday afternoon, whatever time you can set aside to look at your analytics and list out what adjustments you may need to include due to what those analytics report is necessary.
Right.
Schedule that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like don't throw money against the wall and see if it sticks. That's part of your marketing plan to review the results and know what's going on.
Exactly.
Please remember we're broadcasting from Houston, Texas, and we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatchers, where our mantra is
Don't be a douche.
and we actually read reviews and respond to them.
Yeah.
If you can, you have some sort of device around you, and I know you do.
Yep.
Please tweet now. What should they tweet,
You
Chuck?
should tweet us, man. This is hashtag SEO podcast. Be sure to, number 249, be sure to tag us in it at eWebStyle, at Best SEO Podcast. That way we can follow you back, give you a punch in the face, do all of our social networking stuff.
I don't know if you saw that. I actually used the spike on my head
To point there, I thought I saw you in my periphery. I was like, is he pointing?
Right there, number 249.
Yeah. And you did a pretty good job with it.
Also, if you are listening to more, if this is more than your first podcast, if it's your first podcast, welcome, punch in the face, that's a good thing. If you've listened to more than one, please do us a small favor. There's a couple of them that you can do. One of them just has 3 steps. It's go onto iTunes, create an account, write a review. If you choose to, go ahead and send us an email, podcast@e-webstyle.com. Next, you can write a review on our G Plus local page. If you are new to SEO, it is very valuable to have reviews on your G Plus local page, so you could be doing us a very small favor. Help us out. Go to our G Plus local page. We've made it really easy. All you have to do is go to e-webstyle.com/
Google Plus.
and /
Google Plus.
and / but
G Plus.
and what I really mean is or /
G Plus.
All of those will take you to the same place. That is our G Plus local page. When you're there, do 3 things, please.
3 things. First off, write their review. That's like most importantly. Write their review. Hopefully it's a 5-star review. And after you do that, then put us in a circle and give us a +1.
Absolutely. Next, you can do a Stitcher review for us, Stitcher.com, and if you just put space SEO Podcast Unknown Secrets, it'll actually give you a link directly to it. Then click on the link, write a review. We appreciate that. We are at 4 stars there, so if you could give us 5 stars, thank you. And finally, Facebook, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/eWebstyle. There you'll find the review button. Go ahead and add a review, and that's the only that's the review that's keeping a tear tattoo off of my face this week. It's a Facebook review, so thank you. We'll get to that review in just a second. While we're talking about it, all the ways you can haunt us, stalk us, harass us: facebook.com/eWebstyle, youtube.com/eWebstyle, twitter.com/eWebstyle, instagram.com/eWebstyle. Just follow us however you do on each of those.
Follow us, all that.
Cool stuff. If you are
but we follow back. Let me drop that tidbit in.
Yeah.
If you follow us, we do follow back and try to interact and
be social
with you. So
which is
we're
our
not
recommendation.
Just trying to get our numbers up. We're actually trying to build relationships.
Absolutely. It's a great way. If you want to, you can submit a question for the podcast there. a question for us, offline, maybe not in the podcast. We've had a couple people, hey, you're welcome to bring up this part of my question, but please don't ask this part of the question on the podcast. So we certainly respect that. We do have a referral program. If you have a client, they're SEO, internet marketing related, they come to us, they pay their bill, we pay you. If you are a PHP expert or a WordPress developer expert, give us a call. We're always looking for you. 713-510-7846. That's a number where you can leave an audio resume, and we'll get back to you when we can. Finally, we have a free website analysis. Go to our website, e-webstyle.com. You will find somewhere, everywhere, you will find an access to a free website analysis. Fill that out. If it's really important to get done, I got to be honest, we're behind. If it's really important to get that done, give us a call. Just straight up give us a call. We have our favorite segment, which is the Algorithm Cataclysm. Oh, that was good.
Cataclysm symbolizes an earthquake, which I don't know.
You got to watch that video.
Yeah, you just got to watch it. So today's Algo Cat, man, is AdWords.
All right.
So anybody who's running AdWords, you have options, right? Do you want to increase your bid? Like one of my strategies, for example, is increasing your bid amounts for mobile-related searches on a mobile search, because people who search from a mobile device tend to be in more of a decision-making situation.
So it's worth more. It's actually worth more.
It's actually worth more. Now, so what AdWords has done...
Wait, don't tell everyone though. Okay.
What Google has actually done is they're removing...
the differentiation.
No, they're removing the second line of text in your ad text on mobile devices.
Okay, so the short.
The shortness. So think about an AdWords ad, right? You normally have a title, which is 25 characters. Then you have your first line, which is 35 characters. Second line, which is 35 characters. Display URL, right? And then depending on how your campaign is set up under that, you may have some site links. Right. Or extensions, according to AdWords, right? And so what they're doing, what they've noticed is that by removing the second line description, the second 35 character string, and default giving you extra call extensions or ad extensions. Okay. Makes sense. But the key here is to make sure that you write your first line extremely well for the mobile ads.
Now you got to write more ads, right?
Now you got to write more ads. Exactly. You need a mobile campaign. Don't just create one campaign and then
turn it on mobile.
Turn it on mobile. Turn it on here and increase. No, now you really need a mobile campaign with different ads, which is a cool thing.
That's a big game changer.
That's a huge game changer, and I kind of like it indirectly, right? Because at the end of the day, it's more work. But like the extension that they may show could be a directions link, which is gonna, if you're on the Android, is gonna automatically open up maps, and now you can search and start navigation and begin going. Or that extension may be a phone number. You can tap the call, which is cool. Yeah, right? It's a lot more usability. I get that. Only problem is extensions cost extra.
Oh, so you got to pay extra for the extensions. Okay.
You know how it's a cost per click model. It's already a per click for the search, and you add extra extensions, and so I get it. I can dig it. It is what it is. So yeah, if you run a PPC and you're doing a mobile campaign, revisit your mobile ads and restructure them accordingly.
Yep, makes sense. That was the Algo Cat. What else we got?
I got news. You should have news.
Yeah, I got a little bit of news. Let's cover that real quick. So Apple had their big announcement. I think you've got some details about that.
Well, that's part of my what.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get to that at the end. So this probably could have been what, because Apple's canceling the first screen size. So they're no longer making any devices with the original screen size, which Steve Jobs repeatedly said was the perfect screen size for a cell phone. There is no reason to ever have a larger screen. I just think, I applaud them changing, because it wasn't.
It was small.
Right, it's small. Now, one challenge I do have, and we've talked about this, if I've got to push a button on the upper left of my phone and I'm holding it in my right hand, my thumb doesn't really reach.
Yeah,
you have to change. You got to shuffle.
You have to release the pinky finger.
Oh, there you go.
And let the phone slide to give you enough reach.
And letting your phone slide in your hand in general is just
not
scary. Depending on where you're standing. Actually, one of the guys here in the office cracked their screen over the weekend, and it's just almost traumatic. This I thought was really cool. The first Formula E race. So this is all electric. So it's yeah, the look on your face. You've just processed most of what I read in the article. It's like, wait, so zoom.
Yeah,
Instead
that's the whole part of going to the race is the smell of the fumes and the loudness, and I can't hear and going home almost deaf.
Yep.
Like that's part of the experience.
Yeah, that's all gone.
Yeah. So now it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be how interesting to see how it works. Plus, they have a lot more limitations. And interestingly, when they need to do you can't add gas, right?
It's electric.
They change cars.
Yeah, 'cause I don't have time to sit here and charge up.
Change cars. That's kind of cool, right?
It's kind of cool. New tires, new everything on this pit stop.
It's already ready to go. The dude's got to hop out. So now it's all the driver. It's less about his team, right? The team has like whatever.
He's been fired. There's one other guy.
Yeah,
Go get into the car, dude.
Yeah. Hurry up.
Wow.
5 million Gmail account users and passwords were revealed. I just posted.
Not got hacked.
Yeah,
that's incorrect. They got revealed.
Yeah, got revealed. Which means they're wide open to anybody who decides to go after yours. So you don't just have to change the password. By the way, you should, because it's probably about time, because you haven't changed it in 3 years. We know. We know because we haven't. And I posted a link on our Facebook page and our G Plus page that you can type in your email address and see if it's been hacked, if it's been revealed. Which they intelligently say, no, it hasn't, because I checked mine. No, it hasn't, and you should change your password anyway. Yeah. So that's
change your password.
That's the reason. Yeah, just change your password. All right, so we've got.
And I'll give you this tip: come up with a couple of variations. Right. The reason those got leaked, it wasn't anybody who hacked directly into Gmail or Google. It was other sites that happen to use the same exact password as your Gmail password.
Yep.
So if you're using the same login for, let's say, Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, and whatever else you probably using, like your bank or something, God forbid, change them and come up with some different variations.
Absolutely. All right. So we have a review. This review is from Ian Atha. This is 5 stars, and it's on Facebook. It's what's up, guys. Did I say Facebook? Yeah, I think it's Facebook. What's up, guys? Thanks for all the help and insight on e-marketing and SEO. The show is super entertaining. Stay young. Your humor and patoofs make the show awesome.
Patoofs, literally.
Patoofs. Make the show awesome. By the way, you both should say top position snatches. Together, it sounds way better that way. That's why we did it that way this time.
We normally do, I think. Sometimes we just...
Yeah, you're getting lazy. You have to get more focused.
Well, I think it depends on the drink.
Yeah?
Yeah, like today you only have coffee and Gatorade. And so we're in sync.
Oh, yeah.
But the days when you have coffee, Gatorade, and Diet
soda,
Coke,
then it's off balance. Yeah. It makes sense. Ian Atha, Colorado Realty-Experts.com.
Colorado Realty-Experts.com.
And there's a dash.
Whoa, we just lost
our back screen. Yeah. Oh, don't worry about that. I don't know what that is. That error happened earlier. All right, so thank you, Ian. Punch in the face. Patoof, patoof, patoof. And that's all I got. You got some more potatoes?
I got a little news, yeah. And I got a couple patiffs as well. And so this one goes to, this patiff is to Paul Tail's Pet Sitting. They hit us up on Twitter at PaulTailSPQ. And they said they were watching hashtag podcast 244. At eWebstyle. Thank you for the great info on SEO for great results. Appreciate you, Paul Tails. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support. I do have some news. So, Judge Marsha Berzon, this is in California.
Okay.
So she was the judge who not acquitted, but Yelp won their case.
Okay, so she was presiding over the Yelp
judge presiding over the case. Exactly.
Yelp case. Okay.
And so she wrote that Yelp's business model is to charge for advertising space. It has the right to charge for legitimate advertising services, and the threat of pushing negative reviews up is nothing more than hard bargaining.
Oh, and that's Yahoo, not Yelp, or that's Yelp?
Yelp.
Oh, that's Yelp.
Yelp. And so she thinks that what they're doing is okay. It's not illegal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not in your what news? Let's add that to the what, because holy smokes. So they're presenting themselves as an ostensibly, I don't know, like everyone assumes it's an unbiased result.
Yeah, that's
and
how
that
they
if they
market
have
it.
positive reviews, it's because overall they are a good place to go to as a consensus. Yet when they manipulate the system so that it appears that they're a bad place even when they're a good place, that's just
Okay.
hard bargaining.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
What? Like, what do you do?
Judge.
Yeah,
Was a kick in the
kicking the
shin to
shins.
you.
What? Wow.
And the Yelp for applauding her judgment and decision. They were like, "Yeah, we told you. What we're doing is okay. We're not that kind of
So what's interesting is they're admitting it,
yeah.
right? So I
Essentially.
mean, the whole firstly, the offer
By,
have been
by
denying it.
agreeing what she's saying.
By
is-
touting her, you're saying yes, we are doing it. We are doing it. I mean, that should be useful in a federal court where you have somebody with a brain who can make a decision about the deception that's obviously happening. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Marsha,
Yeah, Marsha.
maybe she's the
Berzon.
the middle child. Marsha, kicking the shins.
Yeah.
No, Marsha's the older one, and from the Brady's. Anyway, wow, I'm just dumbfounded. All right.
Flabbergasted. Appalled.
Yeah, that's-
I could probably come up with some more.
So when in our society is it okay to deceive people, and that's actually called hard bargaining? It's called lying, and generally as a culture we frown upon lying, although we accept white lies and no, those pants don't make your butt look big. That's okay. But wow, okay. So that's the potatoes of our podcast. They're really rotten potatoes.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the meat.
Smashed potatoes. Yeah, so today's meat, man, punch in the face to Jason Demers like 2 weeks in a row. We have to switch up.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a pretty good article, though. He posted this one on Search Engine Guide. And he says the top 7 SEO web design methods to increase visibility. Great title, great article. 7 SEO web design methods to increase visibility. And so let's dive right in. And so the first one he talks about is URL structure, and understand that we're talking web design methods to increase visibility. SEO web design methods. So number 1 is URL structures. He goes on to say that when creating URLs, make sure that they are adequate. Make sure they adequately describe the subject matter of your content. And I totally agree. He also goes on to say that use hyphens and not underscores. And if you're still using underscores, shame on you. We covered this last year sometime. Use hyphens in your URLs. But your URL structure is important. It's extremely important because users do look at the URLs. I know anytime I get ready to click on a link, if it's not a link that's showing me the entire URL, then I look at the lower left-hand area of my monitor to see where the actual URL is.
Yep.
And where it's taking me. And when I'm looking at search results, before I click, regardless of how good your title is, regardless of your placement, I look at the URL to see what is this going to take me to, or what should be on that page. And I know I'm not the only one. Most people do. So make sure that the URL structure you have, keep it short, right? You don't want, 10 words, because that's just stupid.
Dashes or underscores.
Yeah.
I don't care. Don't have 10 words. Yeah.
Don't have 10 words. Keep it short and use hyphens, man, and watch your structure. Number 2, he says responsive design. Building and maintaining a separate mobile and desktop sites may present a complication with duplicate content. And that very well could happen.
Yep.
If you have the same exact content on www.yoursite.com or, m.yoursite.com, those are effectively 2 different sites serving up the same exact content. And so that's a duplicate content issue.
Yep.
And so we, from that perspective, I definitely say
We co-sign responsive design. Absolutely.
is the way to go with that. I'll say be careful to style, and this is what I added, be careful to style the different formats correctly. If you're using responsive design, then your style sheet is what really controls the responsiveness of it. And if you're on let's say you're styling for the mobile presentation,
right,
you want to make sure you style that accordingly.
Right.
That contact numbers and information that leads to that conversion is easy to get to, is more prominent. Versus the desktop version where they may just be researching, and so navigation and things like that should be more prominent. So make sure you style your responsive design correctly.
Right.
Number 3, Descriptive navigation. And remember, we're talking the top 7 SEO web design methods to increase your online visibility. Descriptive navigation. Jason says that web designers should not get too creative with the navigation bar location. Right?
We've been talking about that for a long time.
No, place it across the top or along the left margin of the page. At the end of the day, you want to keep usability in mind. Right? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, first and foremost.
At the end of the day, it's the user who's going to find your site. It's the user who's going to click. It's the user who will eventually and hopefully take an action that you want. And so if they need to find some content or they're researching or whatever they're doing on your site, they have to navigate to get there. You don't want some obtrusive or well-designed navigation that's just not user-friendly.
Yeah.
It may look cool, but if it's not
it may
usable,
actually be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Unless you want conversions.
Exactly. And so you want to do that. So yeah, he went on to say, use flyout and drop down menu bars with caution because robots and humans have more trouble navigating them. And that's so true, especially on like a tablet or a mobile device. If you end up with flyouts and drop downs that are 2 and 3 levels
that you can't get
deep,
to them. Yeah.
Yeah, because there is no hover on a tablet.
Yep. Or a mobile or a phone.
Or a phone. There's no hover there. There's no way you can put your mouse there. Well, this is a Surface maybe.
Right.
But even then, you're using it as a desktop at that, or using it as a laptop at that point. But from a tablet perspective, you can't hover. So style it well, so maybe you can tap without necessarily proceeding to the page, but just to activate the menu.
Yep.
Number 4.
So the rule is test it on your mobile device.
Test it on your mobile device. Test it across browsers.
Well, so this brings up a good point because in at least the way we design, an iPad is not a mobile device. We consider it a workstation and display like we do on a workstation because you've got that variability. So what works on your phone and has instant clicks or whatever, then also try it on the iPad. Our recommendation is on anything about that size, it should be the same as the workstation. You might make some modifications for the size, but really it should be the same and then try it there. Because if you just try it on your phone and assume that the workstation version is going to work on your iPad, it might not.
Well, it might not from that technical standpoint and as well as from a conversion standpoint. Because at the end of the day, it's not a mobile device.
Right.
You know, you can't treat the phone the same way you would treat your tablet. You can't call from your tablet. Think about it from that perspective.
Well, just like you were saying, that mobile devices actually have a better close ratio. It's because of the dynamic nature of when you're doing that search.
Exactly.
And then an iPad is, at the office, in a waiting room, on the couch, in bed, whatever. That's a different situation.
Different experience, definitely.
By the way, just a point, in terms of PPC, does Google consider iPad a mobile device? And so when you're doing mobile advertising, does it also consider the iPad the mobile device?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
No. There's a mobile option and then there's a desktop option.
Yeah.
And so
and iPads are thrown into the desktop version.
Which is interesting though, because in analytics, under the mobile section of reporting, tablets.
We probably need to double.
Tablets and mobile. But in AdWords, as often as I'm in AdWords, I can't say I've seen an option to target tablets.
Well, and I'm just wondering, so they're either in workstation or they're in mobile. Where did they put them? Yeah. And we can just pull it up. We'll check it today.
Yeah, we'll report back on that. Number 4, image optimization. He goes on to say, avoid using source code to shrink images. This has a negative impact on the length of time the page will take to load.
Yeah.
Make sure you use keywords in header images, logo images, graphics, and buttons on each page. This is SEO 101, right? Optimize your images. And what he's saying is basically optimize the images before you upload them.
Yep.
Like don't allow, WordPress to have to crunch them and all these other things to use some sort of code to shrink them.
Unless they crunch them first, right?
Yeah,
if they crunch them on the upload process,
because it's resizing them at that point.
Yeah.
But don't allow some code or some script to resize the images, because while it may resize the images, it still has to resize the images, and that essentially makes your page load slow. Instead, just take a few moments and optimize those images before you upload them. I'll add this, and this is a pro tip. Use image titles. A lot of people sleep on the image titles. They'll use alt tags, alternative tags on their images, but they won't use the alt tag and the image title. You know why? Because the alt tag is what the search engines read and like screen readers read and things like that. But the image title is what pops up if you hover your mouse over that image. A lot of people think that's the alt tag showing. It's
Right.
not. That's the image title.
It's probably the alt tag when there is no title.
No, if there is no title, then nothing pops up.
Really? That's changed. Okay,
And
cool.
so yeah, use your image title.
Good to know.
Number 5, page load times. It says mobile users wait an average of 5 seconds. This is key. Mobile users wait an average of 5 seconds for websites to load. Desktop users only use 3.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense. 5 seconds seems like a bit much
Yeah.
on a mobile device.
It's acceptable on a mobile device
Yeah,
because you're
'cause-
on a mobile device.
'cause
and
you're waiting.
You don't know what your network is or whatever.
Exactly. And so
And plus, you may be in the waiting room, and what else are you gonna do?
exactly, right? And so yeah, people, you got to understand that people, I wrote down, everyone is impatient, us and the search engine.
Yep.
Like from a user perspective, load time is key. I just said 5 seconds is too long.
Yep.
Really not.
Right.
It's only 5 seconds. But to Google, that's an eternity.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that your site loads extremely quick, extremely fast. So page load time is key. Number 6, keyword research. He says, which keywords, phrases, and topics have potential customers of yours researched? I think it's key to understand that. And he also references Google's Keyword Planner, great tool. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And I like the changes they made to it versus when it was just a keyword tool, because now it gives you a lot more competitive analysis and a lot more other keywords and categories that you may not have thought of.
Right.
So take advantage of those tools. What I like to use it for is the variations of keywords.
Right.
Right, because when you're writing content and you're blogging, whatever you're doing, you want to optimize for not only your target phrase, but other variations of that phrase. And keyword research helps you locate what those are.
Yep.
Number 7, sitemaps. He says sitemaps also allow Google to index your site thoroughly and efficiently. This is another SEO 101 deal. Have a sitemap. You can have several sitemaps. HTML sitemap for
Robot
users.
sitemap, yep.
XML sitemap for robot purposes to be indexed. Maybe your site is video heavy. A video sitemap so people can find which video they need to see pretty quickly. Sitemaps just make it easier for bots and people to find what they're looking for on your site if they're lost. So use a sitemap. And I'll say this, it's kind of a strategy that I tend to do, especially when launching a new site. Like before we update that sitemap in the Webmaster Tools, adjust your pages, right? Then fix your redirects first. Get your redirects done, 301s are in place, and all that's, and your htaccess or however you're doing your 301s is complete first. Then submit your sitemap with the updated links and navigation. And so that way you will reduce the amount of not found errors that Webmaster Tools will report.
Right.
Because you've made those corrections first.
Yep.
Pro tip. So that was his 7 right there. Then he offered 4 more on how to use SEO techniques to maximize the impact of your content. Fixed content. I like this one here, and these are kind of 4 bonus ones. He says fixed content and contain at least 400 to 500 words per article. I agree. It used to be 253. Now people absorb more information faster. And so you need to be able to provide more data. I'm a big believer, we're a big believer in static homepage content.
Yep.
Right? Some content that's well optimized, that describes your company well, and is static on the homepage. Now, maybe in your sidebar below that or somewhere else on your homepage, you may want to have something dynamic, like related post or recent post or
Latest news,
the latest news or whatever it is. But you definitely want to have some set of static homepage content. Number 2, he says encourage linking, addressing misunderstandings or myths, discussing newsworthy topics, or raising questions for the public. Encourages engagement. And I totally agree. Basically, he's saying stay relevant, right? When you're writing something, content, and you're putting it out there, ask questions, offer a different perspective, do things that will prompt people to link to it. He said encourage link building. I wrote down encourage sharing. I'm under the belief that how many times an article gets shared, whether it's shared on LinkedIn or shared on Facebook or shared on Twitter or shared on Digit or Reddit or wherever it's shared at, has likely the same amount of value as somebody linking to it, especially with Penguin updates coming and really monitoring these links. The sharing automatically increases engagement because somebody's actually sharing it to their following. And so encourage people to share your content and linking. Number 3, he says natural keyword use. Search engines will detect keyword stuffing that doesn't adhere, check this, to genuine language patterns. And that's interesting. I know Bing was already doing that. Google's been doing it. Especially with the onslaught of voice search and things like that, people are searching differently. And so when you writing your content, he says use natural keyword use. Make sure it sounds right. Right, you don't want to be, we used to have the podcasts ago, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the keywords you're using actually make sense when they're being read. And the last one he says is use built-in marketing messages. Replace links that read contact us with ones that read, contact eWebStyle or something like that inside the text. Because what that does is if people happen to search for that, and it's a link, it has a little bit more value than contact us. Because every website has contact us, but only your website would have contact
eWebStyle,
your company, right? And what that does from a link building perspective is the more you use that, when people do begin to link to you, they will begin to use the same ad text, the same text in that ad. Anchor text, thank you. Contact them. And so I'll say this, and this is the last thing I wrote. I wrote create a review page in regards to built-in marketing messages. Testimonials kind of used to be the big thing. We still see tons of sites that are loaded with testimonials. And testimonials has always been kind of, don't really know if it's bogus or if it's valid because it's just text on a page. But when you create a review page with links to these reviews and screenshots to these reviews, that has inherently way more value than a testimonials page, because people know that this review was on Yelp or Google Plus or.
I mean, if you have a positive review on Yelp, that's saying something.
That displays.
I
know several companies with a whole bunch of
you're either paying them or
or you providing a.
Wow. Who knows?
Yeah. So punch in the face to Jason Demers, man. The top 7 SEO web design methods to increase visibility. Great article. I'll post this and we'll share it. And you guys hit us up. Tell us what you think.
Thank you so much, Jason. All right, so now we got some what? Word of the week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were word of the week first. So this week's word of the week is wearables.
Okay, wearables.
Wearables references wearable technology like Google Glass or Galaxy Gear or iWatch, or even you ever heard of a company called Moto, M-O-T-A?
No.
So Moto has a smart ring.
Oh, that's like a mouse?
No.
Okay.
A ring that has a screen on it here that just gives you notifications. Oh, I got 3 new emails, 4 people tweeted me, and
wow. That's kind of cool.
Kind of cool, I think.
Because there was one also, remember the other one that was it was actually a ring, and then it was like a mouse. So as you pointed your finger even in the air,
I remember
right?
that. Mm-hmm. I do remember that. So this one here just gives you notifications, syncs up with your device, right? And so that was pretty cool. So and then our what news? So what? iPhone 6.
Right.
iPhone 6
launched this week.
Yeah, it looked kind of cool. Curved glass, big phone. He totally went against everything Steve Jobs said.
Yep.
Which was probably necessary.
Right.
I mean, because the iPhone.
You just look at the market.
Exactly.
Phablets are doing really well.
Mm-hmm. Phablet. That'll be next week's word.
Yeah.
But the reason they're my what news today is because of the prices.
Okay. I didn't even look at the prices.
So 64 gig, iPhone 6 Plus. Just guess.
$600.
$850.
$850. Wow.
$850. 128 gig iPhone 6 Plus. $950.
Wow.
$1,000 for a phone. Yeah, the only thing $650 is the 16 gig, the lowest model one.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's like a house note.
Yeah.
you know, a 2-car note.
It's like a laptop.
Exactly. This is like my month's bills. That's like the cable bill plus my Centerpoint bill, and the car note, all for the phone.
So you're saying probably not going to get one
Team
tomorrow?
Android all day. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
So.
All right, cool. Well, this has been podcast number 249.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for making us the most popular internet marketing podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, on
How many
G+.
downloads now?
I don't. Yeah, like total, we're over 1 million. Yeah, we're over 1 million
Over a
for
million,
sure.
and that's like, I think we're at like 88,000 plus a month. I mean, a week.
Yeah.
And we hit another country too.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah,
So-
I can describe it. It's a country that is surrounded on all sides by South Africa. Can't remember the name of it. I was talking to somebody the other day about
It's like
that.
83 different countries now. So just punch in the face.
Punch
to
in the face, all
Thank
you guys.
for supporting us. We really
Making
appreciate
that happen. Until the next podcast, my name's Chris
it.
Burris.
I'm Charles Lewis.
Bye bye for now.
All right.